Most people hear about the law of attraction as though it were a single equation. Think positive thoughts, and you'll attract positive things. But that explanation is only the surface. It's like looking at the ocean from the shore. You see the waves, the glitter of sunlight on water, but you don't see the depth, the currents, the vastness hidden below. Quantum manifestation operates at that hidden depth. It is not about simply wishing or wanting. It is not about repeating affirmations until your throat is sore. It is about understanding the invisible architecture that links your inner world to the quantum field, the field of infinite potential from which all reality emerges. Most people fail because they treat manifestation like superstition. They hope, they wait, they cling. But the quantum field is not persuaded by hope. It responds to coherence. It responds to clarity. It responds to the vibrational patterns you stabilize, not the scattered fragments of thought you toss around occasionally. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. If you smile, the reflection smiles back. If you frown, the reflection frowns back. Now, imagine shouting at the reflection, begging it to smile while your own face remains in a frown. That is how most people use the law of attraction. They plead with reality to change while holding the same frequency that created the situation in the first place. Quantum manifestation requires a subtler awareness. It is not enough to want something, you must embody the frequency of it. Not for 5 minutes of visualization, but as a sustained state. This is why the secret nobody uses is not about adding more affirmations or rituals. It is about shifting into coherence with the outcome until reality has no option but to mirror it. Think of the quantum field as a vast, invisible canvas. Every thought, emotion, and belief you carry is a brushstroke on this canvas. The majority of people paint unconsciously scattered colors, unfinished shapes, conflicting images. They wonder why their reality looks chaotic, mismatched, or incomplete. The masters of manifestation, however, paint deliberately. They know the brush is always in their hand, and they choose their strokes with care. They align their inner world so the canvas fills with one coherent picture. Over time, that picture becomes so stable, so consistent, that the quantum field crystallizes it into physical form. Here lies the first secret nobody uses. Stability matters more than intensity. A flash of desire is not enough. A few days of excitement is not enough. What changes reality is sustained alignment, the way a river carves through stone not by force but by constancy. Why do people fail to manifest even when they practice? The answer is interference. Just as two sound waves can collide and cancel each other out, your conflicting thoughts and emotions cancel out your intentions. You may desire abundance, yet carry deep beliefs of unworthiness. You may visualize love, yet rehearse stories of rejection. These hidden broadcasts interfere with your primary signal, sending static into the field. Reality responds to the interference, not the isolated wish. To command reality, you must clear the interference. This does not mean becoming perfect or never feeling doubt. It means recognizing the patterns that contradict your chosen frequency and refusing to energize them. It means deciding which broadcast you will sustain and gently but consistently tuning yourself back to it. One of the great misunderstandings about manifestation is the impatience with time. People assume that if nothing changes in days or weeks, the process has failed. But in truth, time is not a barrier, it is a mirror. It reflects the momentum you have been building. Imagine steering a massive ship. Turn the wheel, and the ship does not instantly shift course. It takes distance, it takes patience, but the direction inevitably changes. The same is true in quantum manifestation. Your new broadcast must accumulate momentum before reality bends. This is not delay, it is physics. The secret is to hold your alignment long enough for the mirror of time to reflect it back. Most give up too early, mistaking the lag for absence. The master understands. The delay is evidence that reality is recalibrating. Science already tells us, matter emerges from energy. What we perceive as solid is, at its core, vibrating particles and waves of potential. This means reality is not as fixed as it appears. It is fluid, malleable, responsive. To work with manifestation at a quantum level, you must reverse the way you've been trained to see life. Most people believe in matter first. When I see it, I'll believe it. But the quantum field operates opposite. When you believe it, you'll see it. Belief here is not mental trickery. It is energetic coherence. It is embodying a frequency so fully that the field organizes itself to match. This is the essence of quantum manifestation, the recognition that energy precedes matter, and consciousness is the brush that paints energy into form. The reason most never touch the real power of quantum manifestation is simple. It requires responsibility. It is easier to blame chance, luck, or fate than to admit that your reality is a reflection of your sustained broadcast. This is why the secret remains hidden in plain sight. People would rather collect rituals than embody coherence. They would rather hope for miracles than realize they are the generator of miracles. But for those who dare to step into alignment, who dare to stabilize their broadcast, reality becomes a mirror so precise that nothing feels impossible. Quantum manifestation is not magic. It is mechanics. It is the recognition that the field is responsive, that your inner world is the directive, and that sustained coherence is the lever of change. The simple law of attraction secret nobody uses is not about thinking harder, wanting more desperately, or demanding from the universe. It is about embodying alignment so consistently that reality cannot help but reflect it. And when you learn to stabilize this state, when you realize that your every thought and feeling is a brushstroke on the quantum canvas, you will no longer wonder whether manifestation works. You will live inside its proof. The problem with most explanations of the law of attraction is that they treat it as a spiritual vending machine. You think of something, you visualize it, and out it comes if you've done it right. But reality does not respond to thought in such a mechanical way. What reality responds to is alignment, and alignment is not about force, repetition, or rehearsing desires into the void. Alignment is about resonance. Think about resonance in sound. A single violin can make a glass tremble, not because the glass decides to move, but because the frequency of the violin matches the natural frequency of the glass. When this happens, the vibration is amplified until the glass cannot resist. It quivers, it shifts, sometimes it even shatters. Now, apply this same principle to manifestation. The universe is not moved by your begging or your constant mental rehearsal. It is moved when you find the frequency that matches what you want. This is why so many people try to manifest and nothing happens. They are plucking random strings, creating noise instead of resonance. They imagine wealth, but their energy is tuned to scarcity. They visualize love, but their resonance hums with loneliness. They repeat affirmations like broken records, but inside, they carry the frequency of doubt. The quantum field does not respond to your words. It responds to the music you are playing beneath the surface. So how do you discover this music? How do you create resonance strong enough that reality itself begins to shift? The answer lies in something astonishingly simple but rarely taught. Your higher reality moves fastest when you stop trying to force the rhythm and instead learn to hear it first. You are not here to conduct the orchestra of existence. You are here to tune your instrument until it vibrates with what is already playing. This is why so many ancient traditions emphasized listening more than speaking, silence more than chanting, attunement more than declarations. They understood a hidden truth. The universe is not a blank slate waiting for your instructions. It is already alive, already moving, already in song. The law of attraction is not about commanding the universe. It is about harmonizing with it until it cannot help but carry you forward. Now, let's bring this into something practical, something you can touch. Imagine walking into a massive library, not a modern one, but one where every book is alive. Each book is a possible reality. One holds the life where you are wealthy, another the life where you are in love, another the life where you are a healer, an artist, a wanderer, a mystic. All of these books exist on the shelves of possibility, each one already written, already complete. The quantum field is this library. You don't create new books by thinking hard or repeating affirmations. The books are already there. You simply reach for the one you want and bring it into your hands. But here is the hidden dimension. You cannot pick up a book whose frequency you do not match. If you are tuned to the vibration of scarcity, your hand will pass through the wealth book as if it were mist. If you are tuned to fear, the love book remains unreachable no matter how many times you cry out for it. To access the reality you want, you must shift yourself into resonance with it. That is the simple law of attraction's secret nobody uses. This is why the advice, just think positively, feels hollow. Because if your energy is out of resonance, your thoughts will do little more than scratch the surface. It's like trying to read a book in a language you don't understand. The pages are there, the words are visible, but they mean nothing to you. Until you learn the language of resonance, the library of reality remains closed. So, how do you change resonance? How do you make your entire being vibrate with the frequency of what you desire? The mistake most people make is trying to brute force this shift with willpower, repeating affirmations like hammer strikes. But resonance is not forged through pressure. It is uncovered through embodiment. To resonate with wealth, you don't need to chant, "I am wealthy," 1,000 times. You need to begin living the vibration of sufficiency. To resonate with love, you don't need to obsessively visualize someone loving you. You need to move through the world as if you are already worthy of love, as if love is woven into every breath you take. This is the difference between wanting and being. Wanting keeps you out of alignment, because to want something is to reinforce its absence. Being places you in resonance, because to embody something, even in small, simple ways, brings the vibration of that reality into the now. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you want a certain station, you don't scream at the radio, you don't shake it or demand that it change. You simply adjust the dial until the music comes through. The music was always there, floating invisibly in the air. The station was always broadcasting. The only difference is whether you tuned yourself to hear it. The universe is the same. Wealth, love, freedom, healing, they are all broadcasting their frequencies into the field right now. But until you align your dial, you cannot hear them and they cannot reach you. Now, here's the piece that almost no one talks about. Resonance is not only about matching the frequency of your desire, it's also about subtracting the frequencies that interfere. Imagine a choir. If half the voices sing off-key, the harmony collapses. In the same way, if your vibration is mixed, partly aligned with abundance, but also humming with doubt, the frequency collapses. The universe responds not to your desires in isolation, but to your dominant resonance. This is why self-awareness matters. Not in the sense of analyzing every thought, but in sensing what your dominant energy is throughout the day. Do you walk through your morning in quiet gratitude or in frustration? Do you feel the expansion of possibility when you think about your dreams, or do you shrink in worry about how they'll unfold? The field is always listening, always responding, not to your occasional wish, but to your steady resonance. Here's the secret technique most people overlook. Resonance is sculpted by state, not by effort. Which means the fastest way to shift your manifestation is not by working harder on your vision boards, not by obsessively visualizing, but by deliberately shifting your inner state throughout the day. You cannot manifest abundance from stress, no matter how much you affirm it. But you can manifest it effortlessly if you relax into the frequency of sufficiency, even in small, ordinary moments. So ask yourself, when you eat your meal, are you resonating with gratitude or with lack? When you speak to others, are your words humming with love or with bitterness? When you move through your day, are you walking in a vibration of expansion or contraction? These tiny shifts matter more than all the rituals in the world, because resonance is not about isolated practices, it is about the hum of your life as a whole. Here lies the true art of manifestation. The law of attraction's secret nobody uses is not to force reality to obey, but to live as though the reality you desire is already vibrating in your body, your words, your steps. Once you begin to carry that resonance consistently, the field has no choice but to respond. If you have ever wondered why some people seem to manifest with ease while others struggle endlessly, the answer lies in something deeper than thought, deeper than visualization, deeper even than belief. It lies in coherence. Coherence is when every part of you is moving in the same direction, vibrating in harmony. Most people never reach coherence because they are fractured inside, thinking one thing, feeling another, acting in a way that contradicts both. They declare abundance while hoarding in fear. They affirm love while pushing people away. They visualize success while living each day as if failure is inevitable. The field does not respond to your words alone. It responds to your whole pattern. Imagine an orchestra where every instrument plays a different song at the same time. The noise would be unbearable. But when each instrument follows the same score, the result is breathtaking. Manifestation works the same way. If your thoughts are trying to call in wealth, but your emotions are echoing lack, and your actions reinforce scarcity, your resonance collapses. No music is produced, only static. The hidden law is this: reality mirrors coherence. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions align, you produce a frequency so clean, so precise, that the quantum field amplifies it. It cannot ignore it. Just like a glass cannot resist a perfect frequency, reality cannot resist coherence. So how do you create this coherence? The answer is not in brute force, but in alignment across levels of your being. Let us break it down. Thoughts: these are the stories you carry in your mind about what is possible. They form the framework of your resonance. Feelings: these are the emotional currents that move through you, giving life to your thoughts. They act as the color and texture of your frequency. Actions: these are the physical echoes of your thoughts and feelings, the tangible proof of your vibration. When these three work together, you are broadcasting a clear signal to the field. And when you broadcast a clear signal, the universe responds. But coherence requires something most people avoid: honesty. To manifest what you desire, you must first face what you are actually resonating with. Are you saying you want love, while secretly fearing rejection? Are you claiming abundance, while secretly believing you are undeserving? Until you bring these contradictions into awareness, they will continue to fracture your frequency. This is why manifestation often feels like self-sabotage, because the contradictions hidden inside you are louder than the desires you speak out loud. Now here's the deeper truth. Coherence is not about perfection. It's not about erasing every trace of doubt or fear. That's impossible. Coherence is about dominant vibration. If 80% of your being resonates with love, the 20% of fear will not stop manifestation. It will be absorbed into the greater harmony. The problem arises when the doubt, the fear, the scarcity becomes dominant. So the work is not to fight your doubts, but to shift your center of gravity. To choose again and again to act from the vibration you want to live in, until that becomes the dominant melody of your life. Consider the metaphor of a compass. A compass does not erase the magnetic pull of the earth, nor does it silence all other forces. But its needle always points north, because the dominant field is stronger than the rest. In the same way, when you cultivate coherence, your resonance begins to orient toward the reality you want, regardless of the noise around you. This is where the so-called secret nobody uses reveals itself fully. Most people attempt to manifest from fragmentation. They try to think their way into abundance while feeling fear and acting in contradiction. They mistake repetition for resonance, effort for alignment. The true power lies in coherence, where your inner world begins to vibrate as one. And coherence requires embodiment. If you want to manifest health, you cannot think sick, feel tired, and act careless toward your body. You must step into coherence. Think of yourself as healthy, feel the vitality of that reality, and act in ways that reinforce it. Even small acts, choosing nourishing food, moving your body with care, become amplifiers of coherence. If you want to manifest wealth, you cannot think rich, feel poor, and act stingy. You must step into coherence, think from abundance, feel the sufficiency of the moment, and act generously. The universe amplifies the pattern you live, not the one you occasionally imagine. If you want to manifest love, you cannot think of romance, feel unworthy, and act distant. You must step into coherence, think of love as natural, feel love for yourself and others, and act in ways that open your heart. This does not mean chasing or forcing. It means embodying the frequency of love in each moment until the field responds. And here is the astonishing part. Coherence does not require grand gestures. It requires consistency. Tiny acts of resonance, repeated daily, shift the entire vibration of your being. Smiling with genuine warmth. Pausing to breathe gratitude before a meal. Offering kindness where you once withheld it. These small alignments ripple outward through the field. The quantum reality does not respond to occasional bursts of energy. It responds to your dominant pattern over time. Think of a pendulum. If you give it a small push in the same rhythm, again and again, it will eventually swing with enormous force. But if you push at random, or in contradiction, the pendulum never builds momentum. Manifestation is the same. Coherence is built through rhythm, not intensity. This is why many people become frustrated with manifestation practices. They try too hard, for too short a time, and give up when nothing happens. But coherence builds slowly, like momentum gathering. And once it reaches a certain point, reality must shift. The field has no choice but to reorganize itself around your frequency. And here's the hidden grace. Coherence creates not just the manifestation of things, but the transformation of you. The more you practice coherence, the more harmonious you become, not only in your external reality, but in your inner life. Anxiety gives way to peace. Doubt gives way to trust. Scarcity gives way to sufficiency. Coherence is not only the secret to manifestation, it is the secret to living with wholeness. So let this part of the journey sink in. Manifestation is not about forcing reality, but about tuning yourself until every part of you sings the same song. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions align, you become magnetic. Reality cannot help but echo your harmony. By now, you understand something most people never realize in their entire lifetime. Manifestation is not about wishing, begging, or waiting. It is about resonance. The quantum field does not care about what you say you want. It responds to what you consistently broadcast through your entire being. And that broadcast is not only mental. It is emotional. It is physical. It is energetic. This is where many seekers get lost. They think the secret is more affirmations, longer vision boards, or endless scripting. But the true secret, the one that nobody uses, is integration. When your words, emotions, and actions are fragments pointing in different directions, nothing happens. When they merge, reality bends. Think of it like a lighthouse. If the light is scattered in all directions, it is weak, barely visible across the sea. But when the beam is concentrated and directed, it pierces the night sky and can be seen for miles. Your energy works the same way. Most people scatter themselves in 1,000 directions, wanting one thing today, fearing another tomorrow, shifting their focus endlessly. Their light never reaches the universe clearly. But when you concentrate, when you bring your being into coherence, your signal becomes undeniable. The field cannot ignore a pure frequency. Now here's the deeper truth. When you begin to live in coherence, the universe often tests you. Not because it is cruel, not because it wants you to suffer, but because every transformation requires stabilization. You may declare abundance, and suddenly bills appear. You may embody love, and suddenly old wounds resurface. You may step into power, and suddenly situations arise to challenge your courage. These are not punishments, they are calibrations. The universe is asking, do you mean it? Are you aligned even here, even now, even under pressure? If you hold coherence in those moments, reality begins to shift in ways that feel miraculous. Doors open that you did not know existed. People arrive who seem to have been sent by destiny. Opportunities align with precision too exact to be coincidence. What is happening is not random, it is resonance in motion. But here is what few people realize. Manifestation is not about manipulating the field to give you what you want. It is about harmonizing with the reality that already exists. Every possibility you could imagine, love, wealth, health, freedom, already exists as a frequency in the quantum field. You are not creating it from nothing. You are tuning yourself into it, like turning a dial on a radio. You don't invent the song on the radio, it is already broadcasting. But until you tune into the right frequency, you can't hear it. Manifestation is the same. Your desires are not somewhere out there. They are here, now, vibrating in the field. The question is not whether they exist. The question is, are you tuned to them? And tuning is not about effort, it is about rhythm. A radio doesn't force the signal. It simply adjusts until clarity arrives. You do the same with your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. You fine-tune yourself, moment by moment, until the static clears. This is why consistency is more powerful than intensity. 1,000 affirmations spoken once in desperation will not shift the field. But a small, steady alignment repeated daily reshapes your entire frequency. The field responds to your pattern, not your occasional effort. So how do you embody this in daily life? The secret is to make coherence a lifestyle, not a practice you visit occasionally. That means asking yourself, again and again, are my thoughts aligned with the reality I want? Are my emotions resonating with that reality, or with its opposite? Are my actions reinforcing my frequency, or contradicting it? This is not about policing yourself. It is about becoming aware of the music you are playing. Most people live their lives unconscious of the soundtrack they are broadcasting. They wonder why nothing changes, but the answer is simple. They are sending mixed signals. Awareness itself is the first shift. When you begin to notice the discordant notes, you can begin to change them. And here is the grace of the universe. You don't need perfection to manifest. You don't need to silence every negative thought, every fearful feeling, every old habit. What you need is dominance. When the majority of your resonance is aligned with your desired reality, the field begins to shift. Even small corrections, choosing gratitude instead of resentment, choosing courage instead of hesitation, choosing faith instead of doubt, add up. Over time, these small shifts create coherence strong enough to bend reality. Now let us go deeper. The real secret, the one hidden beneath all manifestation teachings, is that the universe is not just responding to what you want, it is responding to who you are becoming. You can ask for abundance, but if you are still living in scarcity within yourself, nothing changes. You can ask for love, but if you refuse to embody love, it cannot arrive. You can ask for freedom, but if you cling to chains inside, freedom eludes you. Manifestation is not about getting, it is about becoming. And once you become, the getting is inevitable. This is why ancient mystics, quantum physicists, and spiritual teachers across time all echo the same truth in different words. You attract what you are. Not what you say, not what you wish, not what you plead for, what you are. And what you are is defined not by a single thought or emotion, but by the dominant frequency of your being. That frequency becomes the gravitational pull around which your reality organizes itself. So here is the invitation. Stop chasing results and start cultivating resonance. Stop waiting for signs and start becoming the sign. Stop begging the universe to notice you and start aligning so clearly that the universe cannot ignore you. Reality is not outside of you, it is echoing you. And the final hidden piece of the puzzle is surrender. Not surrender in the sense of giving up, but surrender in the sense of trust. When you embody coherence, when you live in resonance, the universe responds in ways you cannot predict. Often it will not unfold exactly as you imagined, but it will unfold in alignment with the frequency you broadcast. That alignment is always wiser, richer, more intricate than anything the mind could plan. So you must allow space for the field to surprise you, to bring outcomes greater than your imagination, to weave connections beyond your logic. This is the dance between you and the universe. You align, the universe responds, and together you create realities that feel like miracles. But they are not miracles. They are the natural laws of resonance, coherence, and vibration. So as we close this exploration, remember, manifestation is not about forcing the universe. It is about becoming so aligned that the universe cannot help but reflect you. It is about living as the frequency of what you desire until reality bends to your harmony. The simple law of attraction secret nobody uses is this: coherence. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions align, your broadcast becomes pure. And when your broadcast becomes pure, the universe has no choice but to respond. The question is no longer, does it work? The question is, will you live it? Because once you do, your life will no longer be a string of coincidences. It will be a symphony. And you will know, without doubt, that you were never waiting for the universe to answer. The universe was waiting for you to finally broadcast clearly enough to hear.